Merry
Eve. I
Christmas
guess
Eve.
you could say whatever you want to say. That we are having a virtual Christmas party here on the link. And joining us in the party is the Senior Vice President, Chief Communications and Corporate Social Responsibility Officer for the Bank of Guam, Jackie Murati. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning to everyone. Sabrina, Jason, Andy, and Vic. It's really great to see you. Happy, happy, happy Christmas Eve.
Good morning. Good morning.
And, we brought you on because the Bank of Guam, you guys have this special holiday tradition, and this is the holiday party edition of the link. And we just wanted to celebrate, what you guys are doing, giving back to the community, to such wonderful organizations. And I guess I'm just going to throw it over to you and talk about this tradition that you guys have been doing for the past 3 years.
Thank you, Bree. Yes, really it's about the nonprofits. We're happy to support, but it's all about what they do and what they do to lift our community up. About 3 years ago or so, we began our sustainability journey. And one of the things that was really obvious to us was, particularly sometimes during the holidays, there's just an immense offering of so many gifts that oftentimes end up either staying under the tree or staying under the tree. And so what we decided to do 3 years ago was to poll our employees and say, we have it, rather than spending money on corporate gifts, we'd like to have you select 5 nonprofits you believe merit our attention and our support. And so for the last 3 years, that's what's been happening. And they've been a myriad of different causes. And, this year was clearly one where we looked specifically to the local nonprofits who continue to service our community through the most challenging and difficult times. And I'm so glad when I saw the final 5, I was just thrilled to see the list, because these nonprofits have remained serving our community. And again, while it's really, thank you for acknowledging what we do, but it's really an acknowledgement of what they do.
Yeah.
And every time.
Hey, Jackie,
Yes.
Sorry. You mentioned it there. Usually, corporate headquarters will make some donation to a charity, and the employees, have no say in it. How important was it for you guys to get your employees involved and really put a poll to them?
Great question, Andy. Of course, this was really important, and more we're asking our employees, what do you think? Where do you want us to put our resources? And it's not just about money, but it's also about how do we volunteer our efforts, and anything that we can do to help the nonprofits. Because again, it's about, yes, giving our employees a voice, but more importantly, who they think and who they've seen out in the community, and critically important. Our employees' voices have always been important, and they continue to grow in importance.
Right.
Thank you.
And these organizations that you selected, I know we have partnered with them in many different ways throughout the past several years. And let's just start with Harvest House and how the contributions they give back to the community.
Constantly. And we've also had a number of drives which have benefited these nonprofits, from school supplies and backpacks to Harvest House. And, Bethany and her team are just so amazing, because their hearts are open no matter what time, no matter who calls. They just, she just welcomes whoever needs help and support. So certainly Harvest House with the foster children and her growing family. They're just an amazing blessing for us all.
Mm-hmm. We've got Guam Animals in Need. I know this is an organization that's very close to Andy, as well as Chris Barnett.
Yep.
As well as to me. You'll remember as well that Cyrus earlier on put together a volunteer group who was sewing masks.
Mm-hmm.
And so we also partnered with them when they were doing that. But, we can never forget our furry friends, because particularly now they give us so much love, unconditional love. And sorry, I lost my pet a couple of months ago. And so you guys know, okay? And so they just give us unconditional love and provide so much so much to our lives, and they've continued to help. As a matter of fact, I'm looking to get someone, so.
Sanctuary, with Victor
Yeah.
Camacho and his crew, we've had
Right.
them on too as well, and I know he was talking about they've continued to stay open, helping our children, and especially with the teenagers.
Nonstop, they've stayed open, in and through all of these challenges, to help those who really need support and help when it might not be forthcoming. I think when the community is faced with, challenges of inadequate or not at all any income, and at the same time, our children are being faced with remote learning and, frankly, remote friends relationship. They are really at risk and just need a lot of support from all of us, because their long-term health, mental, physical, spiritual, is critical to our future.
Victims advocates reaching out.
Vero.
Vero.
Yeah.
Yes.
Non-stop as well. They never stopped answering their phones. And as we've had many conversations with them, and in as much as they may have seen a reduction in calls, a lot of it is because the victim and the abuser are in the same home oftentimes, and the victim is unable to leave.
Yeah.
So definitely a need, and it's the victim and the children, and so that need is greater now more than ever. These nonprofits just have the biggest heart.
Yeah.
They don't say no. They stay open no matter what, and I'm so pleased that our employees were able to voice that.
Manyetlu, this is an organization, Vic, very close to you, and with the podcast that you've been doing weekly.
Yeah, and then and if you guys want to watch it, I did a podcast with Jackie where we had to edit it. I had to cut it down to 30 for TV reasons, but the original we talked on and on. There's so many awesome things that the Bank of Guam is doing. And I told Jackie, it really goes they go above and beyond. She told me the history of how the Bank of Guam was going into the FSM, and how the decision and it went into that, and how they it was a hard decision to make, that they could at one point would lose money, but Mr. Leon Guerrero says, like, no, we have to do this. He made the decision to reach out to the islands, and we did. And look at us today. Like if my parents need money right now, I can just on my phone just transfer money to them. So it's such an awesome thing that they did. And then when you partnered in partnership with Manyetlu, and when I saw them on the list, it really it was really something to me. And I was like, wow, thank you guys so much, because they do a lot too in our community, where when it comes to translations and when it comes to putting out information out there to the people, to really get them to know what's happening. So it's a beautiful thing to you guys included them to the list.
Yeah, Sam Titano has been, her and her team have been relentless. They have been resilient. They have been in the community nonstop. We've had a couple of drives for them as well. Not only PPEs, but also we did a book drive for them, because they have this small van that they go into the community, deep into the neighborhoods that many of us don't go into generally, that we've seen. And they're there to offer assistance and help and just presence. Manyetlu is an amazing group. We can't thank all of these five, enough for above all, their selflessness. I mean, to go and do this every single day, nonstop, to answer the phone call, to open their doors, never to say no. I mean, those are the hallmarks of local nonprofits that we need to support and need to keep going, particularly as the days roll by into 2021.
Right. And wow.
So Jackie, I hate to put you on the spot, but which charity did you vote for?
Here was the thing. We had five. And again, because I know them really well, okay. I know them, and I know them well, and I know very closely what they do regularly. And I see where they are, and it's not, about the photo ops or anything like that. It's what they do every day, whether or not there's a photo op or not. I mean, they just go in and they do the work, and they're there to help the community. How can you say no to those five? I mean, there are
Yeah,
many more. There are many more.
I agree. In this business, we've had the chance to work with all of these charities, whether interviewing them on the show or being out there, bringing a story out. And I have a Gain cat. He's asleep right now, so he's not going to be on the show. And so they all kind of a little special to me. So the fact that you're able to give $5,000 to each one is outstanding.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to our leadership, Ken Cook, Maria Leon Guerrero, for supporting us, because this is the time that we know it's not about the bank, it's about what our nonprofits do for our community, and that's where they need help. And any other organization, company, individual who wants to donate to them, I'll ask on their behalf. How's that?
Well, thank you, Jackie, for coming on.
Viva Bank of Guam!
Viva!
Viva Bank of Guam!
Yeah, can I say something,
Yes.
please? It's really important because you all, as the media, you have also been there nonstop. There have been so many issues, because I follow you daily, that you have handled in a very professional, even-handed way, with much grace, and I'm sure restraint. And
she knows me so well.
and I really salute you and the team, and Marie and her team, for constantly keeping all of us informed, grounded, and balanced. I think that's really important. So thank you to all of you for what you do throughout all of these days. You all deserve your own award and recognition for doing this.
Oh man, Jackie.
I think she just made
First
sick.
informers.
Okay.
We need you.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Again, Merry Christmas to you and your
Merry
family,
Christmas to you too.
and everybody over at the Bank of Guam.
Thank you so much for having me on. Really appreciate it. And thanks to everyone in the community who continues to uplift everyone else. Take care.
Take care. Stay
Be
safe.
safe.
Bye,
Merry
Jackie.
Christmas. Be
Bye.
safe.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye. And we are going to go to a break, but first we have a cover